guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my own experience working for advertisement agency for the past 4 years. I hope this video is also interesting for you. The table of contents. The first one, I'm going to talk about ads pillar. Basically, this is stakeholders in the advertisements company. Second is about competition fairness across advertisers, how to ensure healthy competitions. The third one is about relevancy, what is relevancy and how to compute the relevancy. And the next one is about data-driven decisions. I'm going to talk about experiments and monitoring metrics. The next one is about how the ads system works. I'm going to show you the microservices in advertisement platform and how they talk each other. And the last one is about ads team organizations, how they organize the team to manage the complex advertisement platforms. And then at the end, I'm going to wrap it with a summary. So let's start it with ads pillar. In the first section, we're going to talk about ads pillars. Pillars here means stakeholders. So we have 3 stakeholders with significant roles in building the advertisement platform. So the first pillar is advertisers. Who is advertisers? Who is the advertisers? So the first one is an individual. It can be me or you. Let's say I have a shop in e-commerce and I want to promote my product so people can buy it, right? So this is an individual advertiser. The second one is an organization. Let's say a company, a big brand, a government, also possible. A church, it's also possible. The third one is advertisement agency. Basically, they are people who has set of skills to maintain and run a successful ads campaign for you, right? So this is the advertisers. The goal of the advertisers, it can be sales, to increase sales. Let's say I have apartment company, I want people to buy my apartment unit. Second goal is user acquisitions. This can be downloads, users registrations, or email subscriptions, something like that. For example, I want people to subscribe to my mailing list so they can get more informations about Steve Learning YouTube video, right? And the third one is awareness, to increase awareness. Let's say an artist just released a new album and they want their fans, people aware of that, so they use ads to increase the awareness of the new album. So different goals usually will comes with different strategies, like different wording, call to actions, and they will also have different costs. Usually the sales one, if you target for sales, usually the cost of converting that will be much expensive than awareness, for example. So to achieve these goals, advertisers need to learn a lot of things, right? They need to learn how to use the platform. They need to learn how and what is the ads related terms like click, impressions, which is we are going to discuss about them later. They have to know how to design an engaging, interesting content so people want to see it and click it, right? And they have to know how to analyze competitions, right? Check what their competitor doing, right? So they can create an optimal ad. So these learning curves are big. That's why there is advertisement agency exists, right? But as the advertisement platform, they also have a responsibility to provide you with helps to operate the ads. The first one is to provide a good UI UX, user interface or user experience to manage the ads without hassle, right? The second one is to features. There is a features to observe ads performance data, so you can check how many clicks, how many people view your ads, what is their geography, right? These kind of features should be available in the advertisement platform, so you can analyze and optimize your ads. Features to give the insight to analyze trends and competitions. So you want to analyze what is the trending topics, so you can use it for your own benefits. And advertisement platform should also give a comprehensive learning resource to use the platforms. It can be a guide, learning materials like videos, offline events, something like that, and to provide on-call support, yeah, like customer support to help you with your advertisement. So the first pillars is the advertisers. For advertisers, the most important one is that they can get a good returns on investments or ROI. Otherwise, they will feel the advertisement is not beneficial for them and they will not use it again in the futures. The second pillars is user. Yeah, users. If the advertisement platform in e-commerce, the user will be the buyers, right? So for users, advertisement platforms need to ensure they can give relevant ads for the users, not just spam or random irrelevant ads, because you want them to also have a good experience, right? And then they click the items and then eventually they buy from it. So the third one is the company that own the advertisement platform. For them, it is very important because it is uh, it is their main revenue generator usually. So these three stakeholders has their own roles, and we as the one who build it need to ensure all these three pillars are happy with all of the features, decisions, and new development that we are doing or we will do in the futures. Okay, next we are going to talk about competition fairness. So basically, let's imagine you have advertisement platforms and that is going bigger. There will be a lot of advertisers advertise in your platforms. You will see this kind of patterns that I'm going to show you later. But basically, this section is about how to make sure different kind of advertisers can compete each other fairly. The first pattern is big budget advertisers. Advertisers with a lot of money to spend on advertising. If I'm a small, limited budget advertisers, it's gonna be very difficult to compete with big budget advertisers. So the solutions can be put like a maximum price bids on an ad. So price bid, if you are not familiar with that terms, it's basically how much money that you're willing to pay for a single click, yeah, or single conversion, something like that. So we kept the price bid here. Okay, and then the cap can be different based on the ad locations. Ad location here means where the ads will be shown, maybe in the home page, in the search page, in the as a banner, as a video ads. Yeah, the cap can be different. So if we put a cap, it will make the seller happy, but as the company who owns the advertisement platforms, it's gonna be difficult for them because capping means uh, potentially lower the revenue for them. So therefore, if you decide to cap, you have to make sure that you can optimize the budget usage, right? For example, big brands, they have daily budgets of ads. Let's say about, I don't know, 100 millions uh, rupiah, yeah, let's say. So your system should able to absorb the budgets and distribute the allocations optimizely across different channels and location in the platforms, right? So we are keeping the limit of the single ad in terms of price bid, but we ensure that your budgets will be used optimizely throughout your campaign time. So now, as the company, they will not lose so much money if we decided to put the price bid cap. We can also do something in the relevancy. So I'm going to talk about relevancy more in the next sessions. But basically, we can use a distribution algorithm that allows ads to compete with another ads without a dominant price bid effect. So let me put this in a simple wording. Let's say you see 10 ads from 1 to 10 in that rank, right? We do not want ads with a very big price bids, too dominant, so that they will be in the top 5 or top 3, right? But we want to make the algorithms so that another criteria of relevancy can also have a big impact on the ranking of that relevancy, right? So let's see the next pattern. The next pattern is about experienced advertisers. Advertisers with solid knowledge of setting up the advertisements, right? Those who has a well advertisement experience, they know how to set up the ads optimizely, something like that. So let's say if I am a new advertisers and my competitors is the experienced advertisers, it's gonna be hard to beat them also. So what we can do, we can, of course, from business perspective, they can create a training session and extensive guide for advertisers. All right, that's a very obvious one. And next, the company can offers a free credits for new advertisers so that the new advertiser can try the platforms, right, to gain more experience, to build more confidence. This is in business side, but as an engineer, we can also build an automations features, right? So basically, imagine there is a features when we can create ads just one button click, and then the system can choose automatically the product and then build the advertisement for us with optimized settings. So we do not need to know all of that details in the background. We do not need to have uh, a good experience, but with the automations, uh, I'm sure that the ads can compete with the ads that created by inexperienced advertisers. So the last pattern that I want to share with you is about smart aka trickster advertiser. So at some point when advertiser is so good with the platforms, they can analyze and predict how the system works, and then they will try to exploit the platform for their own benefit. Usually, the most common one is fraud. Yeah. So let's say I want to deplete the competitors' ads budgets by click their ads without intention to buy it. Yeah, just want to ads to be depleted. Right? That's a bad intentions. We call it a fraud activity. So we have to create a fraud system detector to prevent ads from being clicked due to fraud activity. And there is usually another trick, right, to exploit the systems in terms of exploit the relevancy, things like that. So we need to also analyze their tricks, right? Analyze the trends, the tricks, and then create a countermeasures to reduce or nullify the trick's impact. Right, so they are the patterns that often occurs and how we can produce a solution for that kind of things. Okay, in the next sections, we are going to talk about relevancy. The definition of relevancy is to fulfill the user's information needs with relevant informations. As advertisement platforms, it's mandatory to give recommendations that can answer your needs. And to build that relevancy, the platforms use different kind of data. And the first one, it can be from your search terms. This is the keywords that you put in the search bar. And the second one can be your past purchase items. Let's say, for example, I bought diapers in the past, and then the ads platform can suggest baby related items for me to buy with the ads. The next criteria, it can be persona. Persona basically like pictures that can describe a set of peoples. Pictures means not picture profile pictures, but a set of attributes like genders, activities, a range of age, and etc. etc. For example, advertising platforms has identified that I am a person that like to do outdoor activity, then the advertising platform can suggest me a sport related items. The next criteria is visited place, right? For example, I was visiting a lot of historical places in the past. Then for the next one, the ads can give a suggestion to go this museum because this museum has sales or discount ticket at the moment. The next criteria is a watch video, right? For example, YouTube can give you a relevant advertisement video based on your previous watch videos. And relevancy also means that advertisement platform should give a recommendation that has a high quality and ratings, yeah. Because if they show you a bad ratings products, it's more likely that you will click the ads and buy from it, right? So these are the criterias. There are a lot of criterias out there. In the next sections, I'm going to share with you about signals and features. This is terms that related with search engines. Because I was working for ads in the search pages, and if you are working in the ads in the search pages, you have to understand these terms about signals and features. So signals basically a sign of what is relevant for users. What does it mean? Let's imagine that I'm looking for nearest Chinese restaurant, so I put these keywords in the search bar. So the systems, the ads platform systems, need to understand what relevant for me with these signals, these keyword signals. So the first signal is that actually the user's intention to find a restaurant is not a dish, right? It's not a dish, but a restaurant. And then the second signal is the restaurant should be Chinese restaurants, not other restaurants. And the third one is about the locations. It should be near the users, right? So there are a lot of techniques we can capture the signals. For example, like a text clusterings, right? Basically using a set of rules or machine learnings or hybrid approach, we can basically detect Chinese restaurants means cuisines, nearest means locations, right? Something like that. Now we can capture these signals and then the platform will analyze it, right? But how we measure the relevancy with this data? Therefore, we need relevancy features. Relevancy features means data and algorithm to measure relevance from the signals. In this example, we have a restaurant database because we know that the intention is to find a restaurant, so we are looking into restaurant database. And then inside the restaurant database, we have different fields of data, right? Like restaurant name, right? But then we have data about the cuisines. Again, we need this because we have to measure the relevancy. We know that the users looking for Chinese restaurants, then we have to filter our data only Chinese restaurants, right? And then the next one is about locations, the restaurant locations. Then with these features, we calculate it in some kind of algorithm to measure the relevancy and then to rank the final results. So me as a user able to see the nearest Chinese restaurant from my current positions. So this is the signals and features. Next, I'm going to talk about the ads you see. So imagine that I'm a buyer, right? And I want to buy something. So if you remember the signals and features, and then we compute the relevancy, right? If you remember the relevancy criteria. So in this example, it use our search terms to find the related items, the relevant items, right? It should match with search terms, with our search terms. And then from this set of products that match with our search terms, let's say the platform use only a good product, right, with a good quality and ratings, right, eliminate the bad one. And then next, let's say the platforms carefully rank the the products based on the past historical ads performance data. Usually ads with more click or more view is more relevant, so the system will sort it based on this performance ads data in the past too. But in most cases, right, the ads company has its own interests and requirement, so it able to tweak, adjust the final results of data that we will see, right? For the company, they care about the price bit, right? Because they want to have more revenue. So price bits now comes in into the pictures, comes in into the relevancy algorithm, right? Price bit criteria. And then maybe the ads company has a special partnership with a specific vendor. So they want to push up these products from these partners, right? So we'll see. So we will see as the customer their products first, then the other products. So what I want to say is that the final results, the ads result that you see, is not purely for your own interests only, right? It's not purely based on your signals only, but usually the platform will blend it with the ads company signals, which is in this case the price bids and also a special partnership. Okay, in these sections, I'm going to share about precision and recall. What are those? So let's imagine that we are looking for red apple fruit, right? And then the ads platforms show you 3 red apple fruit items for you to buy. Precision means that the system's able to give you a precise, accurate informations or recommendations based on your search terms. In this case, it should be apple in terms of fruit, and the color should be red. Because these are a very precise informations that the system give to you, it's more likely that you will choose one of these apples, click it and buy it. But the problem with this approach is that what if you only have 3 apples? Okay, it's a very limited informations in terms of volume. What if all of the items has been purchased, it's sold out, so you don't have other items you can recommend in terms of red apple fruit? So therefore, there is a recall, right? Recall means its ability to give you another set of informations with a less precise informations, right? It is less precise informations, but somehow still relevant. In this example, it's still apple fruit, right? But the color is green. So maybe after you see this green apple, maybe you want to buy it too. Don't know, right? But in terms of ranking, then because it has a less relevance, then usually they will rank below the most relevant one, the red one, right? So to summarize, a good advertisement system can find a balance between providing the most relevant results, which is precision, while giving users enough selections to choose from, which is a recall. Right. In this section is about ads and organic relevancy. So organic here means informations or products or items that coming in from a non-ads systems, right? Imagine that you find something in Google search, you see search results from ads, and search results purely from SEO, right? Search engine optimizations. So for this example, imagine we are in the e-commerce platform. We are looking something, and if you notice, usually the ads will be in the first row of the search page, right? They will be in a very strategic place, right? So we can see them first, and then after them, there will be non-product ads, right? So between ads and organic, they share the same space, which is the search page. So what I want to say is we do not want between ads and organic has a big gap in terms of relevancy understanding. Yeah. So we do not want, let's say, the search results coming from organic is more relevant than the ads one. If it is more relevant, usually users will click the one coming from the non-ads, which is that's what we do not want, right? At least for the company point of view, it's a bad one. They will lose revenue. So between the ads and the organic one, they will have to share the same kind of level of relevancy understanding. So the relevancy should be balanced. So that's why I wrote this. Ads relevancy is a subset of organic one, right? So we have to find a balance with the relevance between the ads and organic one, right? So this is basically a product manager of ads team. This is product manager of organic team. They have to collaborate together, sharing about relevancy. They play in both teams, right, to ensure they have the same relevancy. Not really the same, but maybe some part they can share. That's why usually the ads will be in a separated locations than the organic one, because if they have to mingle in the same space without a specific locations, then it's very hard to determine the ranking between ads and organic if they are in the same space, yeah. Because at the other hand, ads has that, you know, price bid criteria, but the organic one doesn't have. So they have to find a balance, because as a user we don't want them to see all ads at all ads, right, in the one page. Like you open a e-commerce and then you search for something and then you see all ads. Result is a bad experience. So yeah, it is hard to find the balance. So sometimes it will be better if ads have a specific slot in the page rather than mingled together with the organic one and determine the sorting balance algorithms. Hi, thank you for watching the first part of the video. I'm going to share the second part in the next video. So make sure you subscribe my channels and activate the notifications. Until then, bye bye.